Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to a timeless wave of love reading for you, where we discuss the topic of love. However, the sister energy of which I read for, which in this channel belongs to the energies of Bastet, would like to have the conversation. Bear in mind that whatever brings you here, whatever type of association you have with the sign of, excuse me, with the sign of Capricorn, it is in true form. However, bear in mind that you've tapped into a collective reading that I, 7th, am holding at this time. This is not a personal one-to-one connection that you and I have made time for. So it's important that you remember traveling the rest of this reading with your discernment is necessary to take the bits and pieces that are to your liking and leave anything with the reading behind that you may not have resonated with. As already mentioned, this is one of two sister energies. To get access to her sister energies of Sekhmet, check out the description box below. You can also find different links to help you travel the content that I have spread out between the two channels, as well as gaining access to my website that is fairly new. And if you'd like more information as to who I am, 7th, or also book any services, you may do so via the website. Again, I am 7th, aka Master 7th, that reads these energies for you. I am a remote master healer that provides wellness alignments and tarot intuitive insights such as this. Remember that feminine and masculine energies are non-gender specific. However, that femininity has both feminine and masculinity, and masculinity also has feminine and masculinity. All right, wave of love, Capricorn. Yeah, you're over and under it. All right, you're over and under it. Sudden rush of sadness. So you're really you're overwhelmed. Okay, you're overwhelmed in job responsibility and not enough personal time. Getting a bit maybe like nuanced arguments because of no time spent together. And then there is an element that is workable in a relationship, but what is workable is not satisfactory on an individual independent stature, and which is controversial to the connection at hand, whatever connection this is. There is a need for isolationism to bring any type of harmony and flow to this relationship or this rekindling, if this is something that is necessary. This is something that has to be really intricately examined, because ether is totally about not having the same person enter more than once in your life. And if the case is that, due to maturity, this is me, this is you, then you're just speaking on the maturity that was always there in the beginning. Okay, the beginning told you already the rate of the state of pace, the state of pace as to how valid this connection is. And again, this could be, you might be sitting here and be like, I don't think she's talking to me. I'm not in a relationship or a situation. This is, however, indicative to maybe some of the nuanced narratives or emotions that have you that are the preventative measures for you not being in one. Maybe this is something that egotistically has maybe come up in the past or could arise in the future should you not have a better understanding of what makes you a challenge to someone. But mind you, when someone loves you truly, you're not a challenge to them. Challenge is just a fragment, a part of an emotion that could be easily formulated when somebody says, oh, I love you though. Like, don't worry about it, kind of thing. Like, it's over the bridge and over the bridge and under the water kind of thing. It's not a big deal. You can exist, you can shit, you can fart, you can burp, and this person just loves you. They love you for who you are and what you're processing, what your demands are, what your own personal requirements and standards and expectation is. However, if this is not an eye to eye, and I've seen you have a reading, I think, on this side of the channel, that is an eye to eye for a necessary sense of mental aptitude for you to feel not challenged by a connection, but elevated by a connection. That you can feel rejuvenated in a connection. That spending time with a person or a significant person of interest isn't draining you or having to make you second guess how to show up the next time around. If you have to think twice about who you are and what you do and what you'll say, then this is not, at least not your match. You've always been wanting someone of maturity. You have that sense of maturity, decadence about yourself as well, okay? Part of that injury of being so mature is that sometimes you come across maybe as hiding behind your money, okay? Once you value how offsetting your money can be for your pockets, it could also be off-putting for the emotional sector that isn't as fulfilled, right? Like money seems to come into certain crevices where emotions can't go, and then it's vice versa. So gaining structural grounding in this wave of influxing energies can be very difficult. Yet there is a sense of stature, again, of dignity that really helps you remain poised, remain I want to say aware, and at least a lot of it is about remaining contemplative. Wow, couldn't say that word for the life of me. It's about inner ingenuity. It's about valuing. It's about certain timelines of maybe your childhood, maybe your teens, maybe early adulthood, all weaving together in wherever you are now and bringing you discipline, vigor, truth, and asking you to be honest. Like, it's time to level up. And there is no sense of age maturity that can bring more wisdom to you just because you hit a certain age. And, you know, that's something to keep in mind as you quantify yourself towards a spectrum of likability, okay? Like you can be any age and get wisdom. Yeah. Just as much as you could be any age and, excuse me, or feel broken and feel betrayed and bruised, right? Or do that onto others. So there is very much a lack of interest to continue to be perpetuating ill routines. Yet you're also not afraid to dabble in the maybe uncomfortable parts of humanity, you know, something that is like triggering for people. Like you can talk healing and show up to happy hour. You can, you know, you can do this and do something, you know, cunning. Like it's not about being linearly a quote unquote good person. That good person is a lie anyway, because it's just natural for the body to be inundated with two polarizing situations at any given moment. And if it cannot be thought about you, it will be forced upon you. So that type of structure is, again, difficult to not only quantifiably find resonancy with, but also apply and then see if there's any dignified approach to needing to make rational changes or big changes in life. Sometimes the many small changes can, you know, will affect an overall larger change. And I think you've been working on that a lot. There is a need to go a bit more out in nature, okay? You're taking some of this mental chaos and rooting it to the soles of your feet. And also breath work. We have the sun. So you are, the past flashbacks doesn't want you to have to go through another store and feel like there's another shit door behind that shit. Like, you're not interested in that. You're interested in going through this obstacle, though, to ensure that there's more illumination in the end, you know, like give me more light, please. I'm like, sure, the light is going to come from shadow, but that's totally fine. I will walk through my shadow and get to that light because, period. Period. But I don't need the extra bullshit. I don't need non-transparency. I don't need the extra bullshit of, I just don't need the extra bullshit. I'm just hearing over and over again. 10 of Cups. I don't need lollygagging. I don't need fickle shit. I don't need someone who isn't sure about what they may or may not want. I'm just not. It doesn't mean that you need somebody that is sure, but you want a room of a platform to feel secure, to give you a secured feeling when you get triggered by this person. This person should trigger an authentic platform within you, an authentic chase to be more authentically you. And if it's not that currently, you're on a very needed path for yourself here, to enrich that vulnerable truth here. To adventure through life, through people, through situations, until you get the holy mecca of that feeling and feel satisfied to have chased that certainty. And even if that meant leaving people behind, there's a chasing that you're after, and until you get the stamp that it has been done and it is good to go, you'll continue to be that person, because this is the energy that's feeding that. The Empress is feeding true authenticity to be met, and true authenticity also to be kept, and then also to be met and kept dignified, ritualistic, authentic, pure, delicate, sweet, charismatic, loving, and never overwhelming. And in that it never is overwhelming, it shall never be underwhelming. And may that be the vibration that is the possible one you'd like to peruse on until the next chapter of yours, Capricorn. With that being said, I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space. And may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.